Welcome to the Airline Economics Aviation News Roundup, where we bring you the latest updates from the world of aviation. From new aircraft orders to new CEO appointments and everything in between, we've got you covered this week. And if you enjoy our weekly roundups here on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button and share with your network so they can stay up to date with the latest from aviation. We're kicking off today with news from the leasing sector, where SMBC Aviation Capital has delivered one Airbus A321-200NX aircraft equipped with two PW1133GJM engines to Turkish Airlines. The company said the delivery is the 6th of 10 aircraft contracted between the companies and is part of a 3 A320-200N plus 7 A321-200NX portfolio transaction from their direct order with Airbus. Uzbekistan Airways recently took delivery of an A330-200 wet leased from Lithuania's Heston Airlines, and the airline is expecting delivery of a second aircraft in May 2023. The lease agreement is for 1 year. This will be the first time for Uzbekistan carrier to use the A330-200 widebody for commercial operations, and the airliner's cabin is designed for 266 passengers, including 18 in business class and 248 in economy. Shudkrat Yadgorov, deputy chairman of Uzbekistan Airways, said the decision to lease two A330s was made to cover our schedule. This type is most suitable for the cabin structure of Uzbekistan Airways aircraft, and currently almost all of the company's aircraft have 246 to 270 seats, and we had to find an aircraft that would help us fly the entire route network at this distance. More leasing news now, and ABL Aviation has delivered one new Airbus A321neo aircraft on a long-term lease to Wizz Air, which was financed using a Japanese operating lease with a call option, or a JOLCO structure. This aircraft delivery is the first of 3 to be delivered under the same structure during this year. This transaction, the first JOLCO that ABL has completed with Wizz Air, was managed on behalf of the lessor's Japanese partner. ABL Aviation arranged the equity on the transaction, while Crédit Agricole CIB arranged the debt, providing Wizz Air with 100% financing. The transaction incorporates sustainability-linked features structured by Crédit Agricole CIB, as the terms of the financing are indexed on Wizz Air's future achievements in respect of one ambitious sustainability-linked key performance indicator. This KPI is the achievement of the CO2 emissions target value for passenger transportation performance of Wizz Air. ABL Aviation's chief executive commented that we are delighted to support Wizz in its growth through the financing of its new aircraft. ABL's aviation independence allows us to offer flexibility to airlines to select the debt structure and lender that provides the best economic outcome. On this transaction, we were pleased to work with Crédit Agricole CIB for the first time to combine our respective debt and equity offers into the optimal solution for Wizz. We look forward to closing a further 2 aircraft in the coming weeks as part of this mandate. Moving on now to some environment and sustainability news, where this week there was a warning about the aviation industry and fuel producers facing a struggle to fund alternatives to kerosene. Brian Pierce, a visiting professor at Cranfield University, spoke at the Sustainable Skies World Summit 2023 in Farnborough and said, "We have a massive investing and financing challenge to provide sustainable aviation fuel." With SAF costing around 5 times as much as jet kerosene, according to Pierce, a former chief economist at IATA, there is likely to be an impact on the cost of flying. He said that the extra expense has to pass through some place in the industry. Jean Paquin, chief executive of SAF Plus, added to the conversation that the extra expense has to pass through some place, in response to Pierce saying fares will be pricier due to SAF. According to Thompson, IATA's chief economist, the expense comes down in part to there being a lot of technical challenges to decarbonising sectors such as aviation. Here at Airline Economics, we are committed to supporting the aviation industry in its journey to net zero. And at this year's Airline Economics Aviation and the Environment Summit hosted in Dublin on the 11th and 12th of May, we will be providing a platform for discussion, innovation and knowledge sharing in the field. You can register to join us free by following the link below, and we will also be announcing the winners of the Sustainability Awards 2023 at the event, where there will be a ceremony to recognise the individuals, organisations and deals that have stood out when it comes to sustainability and the environment in 2022. Some manufacturing news now, where Boeing confirms near-term 737 delivery delays. Boeing has reiterated plans to increase production of its 737 MAX aircraft to 38 per month later this year, with a 50 per month rate targeted by 2025 to 26. However, the manufacturer will need to resolve its near-term delivery delays following another issue with the MAX program. In its first quarter results release, Boeing referred to the use of a non-standard manufacturing process for two fittings in the aft fuselage of certain 737 aircraft, and Boeing stressed that this was not an immediate safety of flight issue and confirmed that the in-service fleet can continue operating safely. That said, there will be an impact on near-term deliveries, said the airframe manufacturer, while necessary inspections and reworks are completed. A further manufacturing delay will not be good news for those airlines waiting for airplanes to deploy for the imminent summer season. Boeing confirmed that it still expects to deliver 400 to 450 airplanes this year and that its supplier master schedule remains unchanged. The company expects final assembly production to recover in the coming months. Boeing reported a first quarter 2023 loss of $425 million US, despite a 28% year-on-year Q1 2023 revenue increase of $17.9 billion. The loss was an improvement on the $1.2 billion recorded in Q1 of 2022. Avalon has announced a commitment to order 40 Boeing 737 MAX aircraft with delivery scheduled for between 2027 and 2030. The aircraft are valued at over $4 billion based on current list price, with the transaction subject to approval by shareholders at Bohai Leasing, Avalon's 70% shareholder, which the lessor said is anticipated before the end of May. Avalon said that this commitment builds our strong relationship with Boeing and demonstrates our confidence in the long-term demand for this aircraft type. It will increase the overall size of Avalon's owned, managed and committed fleet to 870 aircraft, with the leasing company adding the aircraft would increase the proportion of new technology fuel-efficient aircraft in its fleet. And finally, for this week, we have some people news where Yankel Shahar has been promoted to Vice President and Chief Financial Officer at El Al Israel Airlines. Yankel served as Director Company Treasurer since 2006, where he managed a team of 10 Treasury and fuel employees and was responsible for facilitating strategy, planning and raising capital for financing aircraft and other assets, as well as the company hedging policy and long-term debt management. Yankel and his team have led the financing for more than $2 billion in aircraft acquisitions over the past few years. Yankel led the Jerusalem Jolco transaction in 2019, which won the Airline Economics Supported Finance Deal of the Year, and the El Al financing team was also honoured in January this year with the Airline Economics Global Leaders Editors Award for Innovation for El Al's sale of 20% of its Matmida FFP to the Phoenix company, valued at approximately $500 million in combination with a $130 million loan. Prior to joining El Al, Yankel was Vice President and Chief Financial Officer at Elad Group Canada, which he joined in 2004. Yankel began his career with Bank Hapoalim in 1990, where he served as relationship management in the business division. And that is all for this week's YouTube Roundup. If you would like to read more on these stories or any of the others we have published this week, head to our website using the link below. And thank you for listening.